Hello, good morning, and how are you? It's early morning. Oh, today I've gotten to such an early start, but that's because I want to address mothers. The sun, as always, right now it's just soft. Yes, and also because it's soft, what I see is not so much the bright red as much as flashes of orange. A lot of flashes of orange. Either somebody's passing through the fence or something, and through some soil, or it's some large insects, lizards or something. So yes, so today I want to address mothers, and I want to specifically address mothers of girls living abroad. Yes, our popular vloggers who are now married and living abroad. Kenyans, specifically Kenyans. I don't want to talk about people from other nationalities because I don't know what pushes them, what their systems are, how specifically they were brought up and everything, but just Kenyans. Because I've been watching some of the interracial couples of girls married abroad. All of them are married in Europe, the ones I'm following, the ones that I'll be discussing. And I'm seeing some worrying things. Yes, some worrying things. And they look like girls who are either not listening to their parents, because, of course, once a girl is married, a lot of responsibility goes to the relationship between them and their husband. But I am an African mother. I am a Kenyan mother. And I used to be an African daughter to an African mother, and a Kenyan daughter to a Kenyan mother. So I understand the importance of a mother's advice to her daughter in issues regarding marriage and decisions you take when you're in marriage, and advice that a mother can give to a daughter depending on what they can see happening in their marriage, no matter how happy and how satisfied and how content it looks to the world, because the mother always knows. And me, as a concerned mother of many daughters, I have many daughters by proxy, not because I'm an accepting parent in many spaces. So there are many people who view me as a mother and who are Kenyans. Some of them are not even Kenyans, but I have experience. And then I have nieces, and I have experience on top of everything as a daughter and as a mother in Kenya, as a Kenyan mother and as a Kenyan daughter. And there are some very worrying things I have seen. Very worrying. Very subtle. They are not visible to everybody. They are very subtle. But I can see what's coming up ahead. Because it is our responsibility and it is our duty as parents to forewarn our daughters before they get to a place where things are not... It's not possible to reconcile some things. It's not possible to correct some things. And so, because I can see this is coming, and I can see it from afar, and I have watched these girls, and I have watched their parents. I've seen when they are with their parents here, when they're at home in Kenya, and a lot of these women are not very empowered. I must say that I speak from a point of privilege. I am educated. I'm not very well educated, but I am educated, and I am exposed. I'm very well exposed. I'm very well read, and I've had the privilege of sitting in spaces where these women are not in, have not been in, and might never be in. And so I know more about worldly affairs, especially worldly affairs concerning the countries that these men are in, and how they, I don't want to use the word manipulate, but that is what it is, how possible it is for them to manipulate women, especially younger, vulnerable girls, and how much more possible it is when they are married to them. And so this is a very, very touching topic. It is very sensitive, and I want to approach it with all caution and all care and all consideration that it deems. Yes, so I started this introduction on such a serious note. Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Josephine. For those of you who are new here, I am a Kenyan mother and grandmother. I live in a place called Ruai that is in the outskirts of Nairobi, just on the outskirts of Nairobi, yes, as you get into the next county, which is Machakos, which is also my hometown, which is half my hometown. Part of my hometown is Machakos, part of my hometown is Kisumu. Because, yes, in Kenya you have very many people who have different hometowns depending on where their parentage is, where their parents come from. And I'm 60, I'm coming on to 60, I'll be 60 very soon in the beginning of next year. I've lived in Kenya a lot of my life, but for 12 years I lived in Uganda. I went to work and I loved I fell in love with the country, and when I got there I fell in love with the people, and so I spent 12 years in Uganda bringing up my children. I've been twice married and it did not work. Out of mutual understanding we parted ways, and I'm in the process of finding love again. Yes, not waiting for love to find me. I'm not that kind of person. That is why I'm ordinary in a different kind of way. I'm going to go forth and look for love. I'm enabled enough to be able to do that, not to sit and wait. Today is Saturday. Yesterday was a public holiday, was an unexpected public holiday. And I'm just doing general cleaning. I've been doing, in the week I did a lot of work repairing. I had a theft of my Wi-Fi antenna, and that scared me so much. You know, when people have entered your compound, entered into your personal space, it gives you chills, because you can't help thinking, what if they went in further? Or what if you were there? Or what if they did come to you personally? For me it's very, very scary. It's very scary. And then I had cracks in the fences that just out of wear and tear, disrepair, had were places that people could pass, but I've repaired parts of the fence that I suspect or think they might have passed. And I cleaned up the compound because it rained recently. There was a period when it rained. I can't really call it heavy rains. When it rains heavily in Ruai, when it rains heavily in Ruai, when it rains heavily in Ruai, I'm not going to be shooting videos. I'm not going to be shooting videos walking around. Trust you me. Because if I'm walking around, I'm going to be in gumboots. It's going to take me half the time it takes for me to walk anywhere, because I have to avoid deep puddles, or I have to avoid moving rivers, or I have to be careful as to whether, if I'm wearing gumboots, that's fine, but they might come off. They might be unable to walk with where I'm going. Why am I saying it might take half the time? Sometimes it might take 3 times the amount of time it takes to get from one place to another. It's a mess. It's a mess because we have elected leaders who have chosen to ignore us. So we residents are pulling monies together and building our roads. What building? We are pouring marram on our roads. And because of wear and tear, there's a lot of construction going on. A lot of plots are empty. So a lot of people are building every day. And building means they have to bring materials. And bringing materials means heavy lorries have to come in, heavily laden with sand, ballast, and stones. And these are the biggest causes of the wear and tear on our roads happening faster. But it is necessary. We are not going to construct without bringing in the materials. And what we do as a safety measure within my particular estate, my particular closed-in estate, it's supposed to be closed in at one point, but right now it's open-ended roads, is that we refuse heavy vehicles to come into the estate once the rains begin. But still, of course, I mean, the heavy carriage that they have, the heavy loads that they have, they still take a very big toll on our roads. And then the waterways have not been clearly demarcated and dug. So stagnant water plays another role in further destroying what little roads there are. Yeah, this is neglect. When you have a government that has neglected its people and is not doing, I have absolutely no shame and no fear in saying this. We have a government that has neglected its people. We see it firsthand here, because at the devolved level, at the devolved government which should be taking care of us, has not taken care of us. We do not. Actually, I always fear for, not so much for myself, but for people with young children, because the road to the nearest little clinic we have here, hospital, let me say medical center, that's a river. That is a raging river with almost like sunken holes, because the gullies are so deep. And that is like passing almost every road, and it is the waterway almost everywhere. So I talk with a lot of vehemence, because we have elected leaders who have chosen to look the other way, to completely ignore us, to develop roads that lead to their own personal homes. It's disgusting, to say the least. But we go to the polls, and we are the ones who chose them. We elected them, and we have a constitution that is being played around with, bandied around like a toy every time, and it's not helping us. We just need to clear out the whole dirty lot and bring in new elected leaders. And until that happens, we are going to stay with this sorry state of the roads. But I keep on asking, if any of you who are watching are capable of assisting, please get in touch and give any assistance that you can to help build our roads. A lorry load of maram costs 7,000 Kenya shillings. Yes, 7,000 Kenya shillings. What we contribute as members within the estate, people don't have money. People don't have money. I mean, I don't know, the economy in Kenya, it's so hard. The people who are here are homeowners. They're developing their homes. They're educating children. They're educating grandchildren. Some of them have no work. Some of them are retired. The younger ones are busy enough bringing up their families. It's very expensive to get out of your way and then now start developing the estate, because you have a government that's supposed to make sure you have a sewage system, that's supposed to make sure you have water supply, that's supposed to make sure you have electricity supply. But that has been burdened to all of us, and so it's the way it is. For me, I just simply tell people, because the road that gets right into my house, there are sections that are really bad. So my children just know when it's rained too much, they are not able to drive home. It's so sad. It is so sad. So I have to leave the house if I need to see them, or they need to see me, or they have to come and park at a relatives or at a neighbors and then come home. It's very sad. So I've just gotten up. I slept in late. Oh, why not? It's Saturday. But this issue about the girls that are married in Europe, Kenyan girls, that is of urgency to me. And I've had, strange enough, I've had the same sentiments expressed by other Africans who are watching, because I also watch other girls who are African but not Kenyan, also married to white people. And the trend is very common among most of these girls. What I'm going to talk about, the trend of what the husbands are doing is common, is a commonality among all of them. And it's of concern not only to me, I've had it raised by other nationalities of other countries. But when push comes to shove, the reality of the matter and what is most important is what must be addressed, and addressed as it deserves, with the seriousness it deserves, and with the openness of mind that it deserves, and with all consideration of the future of the concerns of the future of these young girls. If they do not become happy tomorrow, if because the consequences of their choices make them unhappy tomorrow, persons who are going to be the biggest carriers of their guilt, of their regret is their family. Or it's not going to be their husbands, it will be their families, because their husbands saw this coming, so they're not going to be having any regret. So they're not going to be in any way offering sympathy. No, it's going to be their families, because the families will understand where the pain comes from and why there's pain and why there's regret. And in any way, if I could help as one of many voices, what I'm going to voice, I'd like to prevent this from happening. So you'll see now the sun is keeping on peeping in and out because there are clouds coming in. I told you that in Ruai the clouds are just pushed to go and give rain somewhere else. Oh yes, that's what happens. So right now there are so many clouds being pushed ahead, and I'm very sure we're going to hear that there's rain somewhere else within Nairobi or the neighboring counties of Nairobi, but further east, but not in Ruai. Yes, although we are hoping for the rain. Again, welcome to the channel. Please remember to like and subscribe, and leave a comment if you can. Tell us where you're watching from, what country you're watching from, what are your cultures. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend about my channel. Watch with your relatives, watch with your friends, and also let them know a bit more about Kenya through my channel, about opinions of middle-aged women. You're very welcome, you're very welcome, you're very welcome. So welcome again to my channel, and see you in a bit. So karibuni. I'm a very ordinary person. A lot of what is on my channels is about my ordinary life, and sometimes it's a bit unique. Yes, once in a while. It's about my travels, it's about my interaction with family, about my interaction at various forums. Sorry about moving up. And just ordinary stuff that I do. I also deal with advocacy for marginalized persons. And yeah, right now I'm not employed. I run a community-based organization that is on the slow at the moment because I don't have funding and because it's very committal. And I've just stalled operations for a while until I'm better able to organize myself. So while I wait, I'm doing vlogging, I'm working on this channel, also do TikTok, content creation. I'm bettering myself in editing. I use CapCut. I mainly use CapCut for editing. And yes, that is just it. So I talk about different topics, and today I want to talk about the role that we women play in fostering, in supporting our daughters who are married in the diaspora. So this video is mainly dedicated to mothers, sisters, aunties, cousins, and friends of girls between 20 and 30 or 35 who are married in Europe. These girls are sending money home. All of them are not working, but they earn an income. They are content creators, and they're sending back home. But what is being done with that money? How are we assisting them? How are we advising them? How much are they, when they are helping us, how much of that help are we taking it to the next level, so that if I'm being assisted after 6 months or after a year, I'm able to say, no, don't assist me so much. Once in a while you can send me something, but you've enabled me enough to give me capacity to take myself to the next level. How much of that are we doing? And how much is our asking for money affecting their relationships? And I'm talking specifically to the ones in Europe whose videos I've watched, not all of them. So this is something that we need to discuss so much, and I just wanted to address that because we have a face to uphold. I mean, their men are seeing the reaction, the interaction between these girls and their families. How is it coming out? Because they discuss on the large. And these girls, many of them are stay-at-home housewives. But how does it affect them mentally? Is it good? What can be changed? How can we influence that? How can we assist with that? These are some of the questions I'd like to address. So welcome to my channel. Thank you very much for those of you who are return subscribers, return viewers. And I'm hoping that this will be for not only for entertainment purposes, but that it might also be educative, that it might also be advisory, it might give some advice, that it might be helpful in any way. If you have your views or opinions, you may state them in the comments below. And I come with all intention only to educate, to advise, to assist, and to help somebody somewhere to grow, to think differently. If I'm not here to challenge, I'm not here to criticize without offering a solution. I'm not here to put a blame on anybody, no. But I'm viewing opinions and views as I see them, being a Kenyan in Kenya, and knowing people and interacting with people who are benefiting from people who are in diaspora, who are married in the diaspora or living in the diaspora, and especially addressing the issue of girls who I know just by following on YouTube and social media, other social media handles like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, how their lives are and how they are interacting with those who are back here and how that's impacting their lives and the lives of the persons who are here. So welcome to the channel for this discussion, and karibuni. Let's just make it open. And please, when you leave comments, make sure that they are you leave comments that are not biased, comments that are not abusive. You use good language, and you have consideration of everybody who's here, both the persons that are being addressed in the talk and myself, and also yourself, because the internet does not forget. I hope for all comments to be polite and to be agreeable and to be within the limits of decency. Welcome. This is addressed to Kenyan mothers of young women who are married by Europeans, who've been married for, let me say, less than 5 years and are living in Europe with their husbands. They've relocated to live in Europe with their husbands. And this is just my opinion that I'm voicing from what I've observed from watching their YouTube channels. First of all, congratulations to all the girls for your happy relationships and for getting visas and for being able to relocate and for finding life partners. It's so important when you're actively seeking for a life partner and you get one and you're compatible and you're able to live with them in the place that they call home. So you're the stranger in their land. And you come from Africa, you come from Kenya with a lot of difference in culture, in tradition, in habits, and then you have to adjust to the ones of your husband. And I can say that for the most part, from what I've seen, the men give a very big effort in trying to help the girls to assimilate into their new cultures, their new ways, their new lifestyles. And from all the ones I've seen, I've not seen any form of abuse, which is a positive. And hoping, of course, that it's not that only the ones that are YouTubers are not abused, that others may be getting abused, of course. So in the last video I made about my take on interracial mixed race couples, I talked about the worrying thing that most of the girls are housewives and they're not working. And most of this video is also about expounding a bit on that, because that was a while back and I've been looking and seeing what has progressed. And I'm doing this in comparison to same age women married in other parts of the world, married in the States and married in other parts of the world, and what they're doing. So the comparison is between those who are married by Europeans and living in Europe and those who are married by nationalities of other continents and living in those continents. But again, I may be wrong in my opinions. It's just voicing my opinion. I may be wrong, but I'm just voicing my opinion. So the staying at home thing, first of all, it causes depression. I've seen, how many have I seen? The staying at home thing is a depressant because of the lifestyle that a lot of these girls were used to. And I said before in the previous video You're not out making friends enough. You're not making connections enough. In almost all the videos I see, the only social places that these young women go to is places that their husbands are going. Like, your husband is almost your only friend. And even if you have other friends, they are very distant acquaintances or acquaintances of your husband. And there's very little correlation and interaction between girls other girls who are from Kenya who are within the same country. I was very glad to see Nafula. I follow. She's been married for many years. She lives in Germany, and I can't call Nafula a young girl. She's now a young woman who's getting a bit. Well, she's maybe in her 30-something years. Well, Nafula is a good example because I was very pleased to see when they had a gathering of women who are married by Germans and they have something annual. That was very nice. I was very, very impressed to see that. I mean, to the women married by Germans, congratulations, that is very nice. That collection of sisters, that gathering of women together, and I don't think it was it only Kenyans or was it Africans? I can't remember. I think it was Africans married to Germans, but I was very happy about that. And now this is what I'm addressing. When you have that, you're able to talk some, because I think it was an overnight thing or a 2-night thing. I don't remember the details, but that is what I was talking about. That is very, very important. That you have people your own age, you have people who know similar things as you do. You have people who've grown up in the same circumstances as you have, and who are now facing the challenges that you have, and then you're talking about it. It's different from when you're talking about the challenges you're facing to your sisters, to your relatives, to your friends in Kenya. No. It's important. That's why I keep on saying it's important to make friends where you are. And a lot of these girls, I don't see that. You see, when you're with your husband's sisters, even if they know English, when you're with your husband's friends' wives, it's not the same. It's not the same. Sometimes you'll have cooking situations, but when you're with somebody who comes from Kenya, you'll be comparing like vile hawa wanaoshanga vyombo, vile hawa hawapikangi chapati, vile wanapikanga nyama zao, ile breakfast havingi. You know, that commonality of speaking something, you know, with somebody who can relate is a healing to the soul. Is a healing to the soul. And that's why I keep on encouraging you. Look for other sisters. Look for other girls from Kenya who are in that country. Watch YouTube. Find out. Is there anybody else on YouTube, I'm in Spain, who is also from Kenya? Meet up with that person. They might be able to enlighten you on some things, and you might be able to also enlighten them about other things. Hamtakosa kitu ya kusaidiana nayo, even if it is just a friendship. And no, that doesn't mean that you have to become family friends and your husbands to become close or anything. No, but for you yourself, when you get, and especially the women who've been married there and they've stayed longer, the Kenyan women, when you get in touch with them, they might be able to advise you about so many things. One thing that I'm seeing so much with like the young ones who are married, like I've said, less than 5 years, on top of the fact that YouTubing might be the only thing they're doing, and of course they're helping their families, which is okay, I do not hear them talking about investment. I do not hear them talking about investment. And that's why I said I'm going to give a comparison between the ones in Europe and the ones in other parts of the world. There are some, of course, who are the ones who are in Europe and are, let me see, is there any I've watched? No. Unless the ones who are in Europe but went there for work. And that's a different category. I'm specifically talking to girls who went there, who went on visas directly instigated by their husbands because of marriage, because they're European. No. You must invest back. You must, even if you're not investing here is the easiest in Kenya because you're an adult and you still have your citizenship and everything. The systems are much more simpler for you. And maybe navigating the investment options in Europe might be a big call, because they're at another level, and the stakes are higher, and you don't have that kind of high income. But from the little you get from YouTube, young girls, do not waste yourselves. You're still young. Many of you have not started having families. And that issue of families, I said I'm not going to talk about having babies and everything. I said I'm not going to touch that, because first of all, it's their choice. It's your choice. If I'm talking to the girls themselves, the young women and their husbands, it's your choice. Although there's this no. Let me not go into details of that, because it's such a personal decision, and it is very hurtful sometimes, the sentiments that people give. And speaking as Africans, even as Kenyans, we have this rhetoric, alielewa, kwa nini hazai? You know, if they got married, why are they not giving birth? So I'll not talk about the family aspect, but the fact that you should utilize this period now before you start having children, or while the children are still young. Maximize this period. The money you're making from Europe, I know in Europe, of course, YouTube pays totally differently. And because many of you eventually add up your spouses onto your YouTube channels, I don't know what your arrangements are between the two of you, whether the girl is the one who earns from the channel, or whether you earn as a couple, whichever way it is. I know that European men are not selfish. They will not compare them with Kenyan men now when it comes to money, because many of them, all of the ones that I'm watching, are working. So I do not expect that to a high extent they're asking for this money to be given to them. So you women have a big portion of this money, and it is good money. Judging by the numbers you have, it is good money. Could you please consider investing back in Kenya? And I know a lot of the young women I'm talking to might not have had such an extensive education as to know so much about investments. Your husbands might do, of course, or might be knowing, considering the level of exposure in Europe. But there are so many professional experts in the investment sector in Kenya that you could talk to, that could give you consultancy at very, very good rates, considering that you're paying in euros or dollars or whatever. Utilize them. Take up, first of all, my advice would be, first of all, take up insurances for your families. Take up insurances for your parents if they're still young. Building homes is very good. It's very good. Putting up water tanks, those are basic requirements. Those are basic comforts that, yes, you can give your family. But go the extra step. Go the extra step because you can afford it, and because it will save you. Because it will save you in the end. The less amount of pressure you have to have on yourself when you cushion yourself with, for example, life insurance, it means when, God forbid, we must talk about these things. You're now married to white men, so there's nothing fearful to talk about dying. When your parents do die, when your family members do die, there is something to cushion the family. Because in Kenya, you know, matangas take up such a big chunk of money from the family. And you know very well that when you're away, when you're abroad, you're seen as the higher income earner. The demand will always be higher on you. Upon a end, you're abroad, at least, you know, people expect you to send a chunk. And you know very well that also a lot of times that money is wasted. It's wasted because inatoka majua kwako nazo. If you are traveling back here, all the more, you know, you'll be expected to spend more. So utilize stuff like insurance, because if you insure your parents, if you insure your siblings, life insurance, I'm talking specifically to life insurance, take life insurance policies for them, or arrange for them to take life insurance policies in whichever way. Your mother to take against your father's life, your father to take against your mother's life. If they are children under 18, parents to take life insurance on themselves, because there has to be the person who's taking the life insurance for the other person, or if there are adults to take for themselves, your brothers could take, because the beneficiary must always be a next of kin. Let them take among themselves. You, because you're in Europe, because you're the highest income earner, it's for you to decide as a family, should you be the beneficiary of anybody's life insurance. Maybe for your parents, yes, but those are matters that you can discuss at home, but learn about them while you're at home sitting, you're at home doing your YouTube channels. Do not just focus on showing people how you live. Study important things about investment, about securing yourselves against calamities. Take up insurances for the properties that you've invested in at home. If you've built for your parents, you've bought a water tank, you've bought for them a cow, insure the house against calamities. Insure the livestock, insure the water tank. Insurance is very, very important. So life insurance for the family, and then insurance for the investment of the house you've built for them. You will not know how important this is until a calamity occurs. And if you will compare what it would cost you to recoup the loss, giving cash vis-a-vis being paid by the insurance company in the event that something happened, getting compensation, you'll be surprised. You always stand to earn. You always stand to benefit much more. That is financially, of course. And I must insist that financially is important, because life is not ending with you having been married to a white man. Yes, there's extra income coming into the family, so many extra benefits, but there's still a whole chain of people, the villagers, and Africans are so interdependent to a very large extent on the person who is earning the most. Spread the responsibility, spread the risk in insurance. So insure your parents, take life insurance policies, and sustainable ones. Do not take policies that are so expensive, and do not take policies that you have to pay for in cash. Maybe for your parents that is okay. Maybe if depending on how much your income you're making from YouTube, between you and your husband's income, find out the costings of that. How much is your income? How much would you afford? Maybe if in a year you're making from YouTube in Kenya shillings, that is over 300,000, take chip off even if it is just 100k, and take off policies of and don't pay short term, pay annually. Take out policies of 100k on your family. That is also including the life policies plus the insurance properties, insurance on the property that you have, the house, if it's a farm, if it's cattle, if it's all the appliances in the house, of course that will be included. Yeah, do that and learn why that is an investment. Learn why it is in the Western world those insurances are mandatory. Please learn why. That is the first line of thing that I'd like you to do. And many of these courses, a lot of these insurance companies, even in Kenya, are for you. You cannot take a life insurance policy of Kenya while you're away, because you're out of the country for more than 6 months. I don't know what's the current limitation for you to be outside of the country when you're taking a life policy within the country, but I think it used to be 3 months. Maybe now it's 6 months or longer, I don't know. But because you're not resident here, of course that is not advised. Another thing, take out, I know SHA has all its problems, all its whatevers and all that, but take SHA for all your family. The hospital insurance, take it up for all your family members. For your parents, because for elderly parents, medication is such a big complication. And if you have people with special needs in the family, make sure they're registered. with the relevant agencies, because right now the government has so many agencies that are supporting persons with who are differently abled. Follow up and make sure, not only for your immediate family but up to the extended family, because these are the number of people who are relying on you indirectly, some of them, for you to be at their assistance, because you're the person who is being seen to have money by virtue of it being that you're abroad and you're married to a white man. And for you husbands out there, forgive me, but this is what it is here. Yes, we have people that earn high incomes, and yes, we are not saying that we are that poor in Kenya, but it is not just a it's not just as an assumption. It's a given here that when you're married to a white person and you're living abroad, and people can always measure by the video. And again, social media is two-pronged. You're just giving information and you're showing your lifestyle, but at the same time, people are gauging by your lifestyle where you stand financially as a couple. Yes, it is the man who is earning, but they gauge you, and they also see the numbers on social media. If it is YouTube, they roughly know that there's some money coming into that family. And of course, yes, there are people, there'll always be family members, and there'll always be friends and dependents and codependents who will take an advantage because of the entitlement that they feel they have. But on the whole, I'm telling you this because of your own, because of protection of your own savings, and also for your own welfare, not to have so many times people just relying on you. Or send us money, so and so died, or send us money, this person is going to school, or send us money, this house got burnt, or there were floods and this place flooded, or send us money because there's no water. No. When you do some of these basic things, if it is hospitalization, you'll just be getting told, because Share is paying, we are only adding this. And then insist on transparency. Insist on transparency, and everything that you insist on transparency, follow up, and what do you call it? And check on the internet to confirm. If you're being told, for example, there's somebody that is being paid for in school, find out, is it true that that school, that is the actual cost? If they're not on the internet, find out how you can call them. If there's a place that is listed, if it's an organization of head teachers, if it's a person who also has a child there, find out what is exactly the school fees for that school. Now, when it comes to women, the mothers of these girls, now to the mothers, the aunties, the sisters, the cousins, the girlfriends of these young women, what are you doing to protect them? What measures are you taking to ensure that the people they are talking back here, to ensure that they are aware when they are getting conned? How are we protecting these young girls? What are you doing? What is the due diligence you're taking to make sure that your daughters, your cousins, your sisters are not being abused by the rest of the relatives who are here? Remember, I said that when I'm addressing the girls, I told them that there's going to be, of course, some people who have that entitlement of, you're abroad, of course, after all, so you're the one to assist us with this and that. But now it is your duty. It is your duty to be the watchdogs, to be the eyes of these young women when they're away. You're the ones to be their eyes when it comes to investment. You're the ones to be their eyes when their property is being spoiled here. I mean, if we just take example of the young people who are going to work, who've gone to work in the Middle East, the women, here I'm talking about the women. How many of them have come back home and found that their property has been wasted, that their money got wasted, that they were sending back home money, and the purpose for which the money was supposed to be used for did not happen? That people just ate their money, had fun on their money. Some of them even put up investments of their own from the earnings of these girls who are away. Now, the same thing should be stopped from happening for the ones now who are married and are living away. I applaud all the mothers, all the aunties, all the sisters, all the female friends who are so helpful to the ones who are abroad, who are investing, who are giving them ideas about investing, who are helping them to invest. I mean, I feel so proud when I meet friends who have daughters abroad and they're telling me, oh, you know, she told me she had this little money she had hidden here, and I've done this for her and it's been giving this interest and I'm going ahead and doing this. Could you be the trustworthy people? Could you please be the trustworthy people? Could you be the people that can be relied on? When I'm asking these girls to invest back home, it is with full confidence that it might be very difficult for them to do a lot of things. Of course, right now systems are very developed, so making investment even when you're in the diaspora is not very difficult. But there are some little things that they need to do. Remember, I've said that they need to ensure their parents and their family members. Remember, I've said that they need to insure the property that is at home. Remember, I've said that they need to have SHA, hospital insurance paid for their families. It is you that they're going to be sending the money to. It is you that they're going to be sending the money to. Could you please be the person that can be trusted, so that if you're asked, what is it going to cost, mom? What is it going to cost, auntie? My sister tell me, I want to take up insurance, the hospital insurance fund for all of you in the family. I've counted, including the nieces and nephews and so-and-so's grandmother, who is our neighbor, and Nani's child who is orphaned from the neighborhood. I've counted, you're all 15. And I know for the whole year, for each of you is 6,000. Tell me how I can make this payment. Now, for some of you, you know, the crookedness in Kenya, I know the crookedness levels in Kenya are so high. Could you be that one person who can be trusted to say, what we are going to do is that you open an account in this, or if they left when they had an account here, just tell them, transfer the money. This is the forum we are going to use for payment. The receipts are going to be automatically generated, so I'm going to send them to you. Or you can make that payment from where you are via this and this and this. Just make up money transfer and do this. But the conmanship has become so much. Could you give a level of trust for these girls to encourage them, so that when they see that I sent money for buying hospital fund, for paying for hospital fund for the year, for the whole family, I was given all the breakdown of how the money was spent. I was given all the receipts. Probably even if you send the money, by the time the person who was actualizing all this might have used a bit of fare, might have had a bit of lunch here and there, might have had to communicate with people, to go to different places to get their IDs, to get their their photos, to take them to, then that's fine. Then you are assisted. Then you know that is one step that I did. You ask for life insurance to be taken out for the family members, and somebody goes and says, oh, I have found an agent and they are going to communicate with you by phone and I'm going to be liaising. And the process goes where it is clear cut that even the man can see the family is being honest, and you finalize everything and you can see, you're even shown, yes, these are the policies, we did take the life insurances, this is the one for mom, and this is the beneficiary, this is mine, this is my beneficiary, this is the amount we paid for a year, this is the discount that was given, this is how much I used for transport to coordinate all these things. This is make things very transparent, make things very clear cut, because as you're developing, because you'll be developing when your daughter is doing these things for you, when your daughter's husband, when your sister's husband is doing these things for you, you as a family are getting to your next level development of wealth creation and what do you call, and wealth preservation. Even if you're not a wealthy family, you are now getting into the basic steps of creating and preserving wealth within the family, because you are now putting obstructions for poverty and for poverty-induced calamities. Because when you have life insurance and probably it has a death benefit of paying for burial or buying a coffin or something, you've removed and if it has the same for 10 people, you've removed one small burden of you have to have a matanga that is extensive and that is raising so much money for the family, so that even if you do hold, you know that at every point you'll be saying, we already have a coffin, we already have the car for this and this and this, we already have this. And most of the insurance companies, on top of giving life insurance, they do give, of course, those last benefit covers, policies, so that you're told as a family you can take this burial and funeral cover, so that every year you're just paying a very minimum. Sometimes it's just 500 per person for the whole year, but there's one person who is in charge of it, who could be anybody. It could be the person who is abroad, it could be a person who is recommended who is here. And these plans are very affordable. Take them up. Take them up. And the people who are entrusted with now doing the actual groundwork to ensure that this covers, these policies, these these protection covers are in place. Please, please, please do not be the person who is saying, apana, lazima niende town kila wiki nikachukua idea kila mtu, it's going to take 10,000. You know, the ridiculous amount that people with entitlement do ask for. No. Because, you know, si wanatuma kutoka majuu ni euros. You tell the person, apana, nita need 10,000 kitambo niende kwa auntie na kitambo niende kwa kina mam, niwaulize hii na ni. No. Just make coordination very simple. Ask them, nitatumia fare. It will be so much, maybe 2,000 for this entire period. I'm going to need internet. Buy for me bundles for the whole month worth 3,000. I'm going to need what if it is traveling far, bus tickets, just buy them in advance. Make things transparent. You know, some of you make things so difficult for your relatives because these girls are with their husbands. And you know, the man is hearing, the girl is saying, yes, I'd like to do this for my parents. I've sent money. How much did you send? Of course, when you're talking in euros, it looks like very little money. When it reaches here, it's a lot of money. But the kind of money being received here is 10,000, 20,000. You know, and that's why I'm talking to the mothers. Let us not talk about what the men do. I'm addressing you mothers, you aunties, you sisters here. Do not get into the bandwagon of the people who are abusing monies of the girls who are married abroad. Be the ones who are helping them to save money, because ultimately in the long run it is you as a family who is benefiting. So what does it benefit you if you're part of the problem? Become part of the solution. Be the ones to advise her, tulichukua hii na tulifanya hii na tulifanya hii na tulifanya hii. Sometimes even joining chamas is a way of helping to make money. If kuna chama inanunua nyumba, tumepata kuna chama iko kwa community inanunua nyumba ama inanunua shamba, and the contribution is this. Agree as a family, as a unit, and know that it is a collective responsibility. You are the one to advise them when they are away. Some investments you must make. Kwa sababu kama anachukua hizi insurance and everything, I'm not asking these girls and their husbands to take so that they can be paying cash every year. The first payment, of course, is going to be cash. But after that now, you need to look for ways to create investments which are going to be able to pay for this responsibility so that you'll take over. Mnaanzishiwa, you're being set up to create wealth. But it must be sustainable. And so do not expect that them now, because they are doing this while they are still young, while they still don't have large families, while they are still building themselves, so that you can enable them now to make bigger investments that are going to benefit you more as a family. Now look for other small investments that they can make through you, which is going to be able to pay for the insurance, for your life insurances, for your medical insurances, for the house and household insurances. Yeah, you can tell them, hapa tumeona tukianzisha kisiagi, nani bro atashikilia na mama ashikilia pande ile na yeye dada ashikilia hiyo M-Pesa shop. Set up something and then be transparent with the finances so that you know hampatiwi sasa kitu tu ni ya kukula peke yake. You can tell them, so that you even impress yourself to your in-laws. You can say, actually, we realized that if you put this up, you send the money, you put it up, and then you say, we realized that from this money, as we can pay for the household insurance and we can pay for our own NHIF. The life insurance, hatuwezi lipa bado, but we can be paying a quarter. So that if for the whole year somebody is paying, they've taken a cover maybe for For what? For 6, if it's for the parents, maybe per month, it is a cover of 7,000. Because take note, by the way, there are covers that are for spouses. There are covers for, what I'd advise here, I'm just giving advice for life insurance. Specifically, you can take up covers for spouses, and the longer you pay, the cheaper it becomes. So instead of paying monthly, you can pay every quarterly, and you might decide that nyie endeleeni kulipa, sisi tutachukua hii mzigo, and then you can take up you can be able to feed yourself, mtaweza kufanya vitu. Then the ones now, your daughter who is abroad, kazi yake ni the bigger things, labda kuna watoto anasomesha, labda kuna vitu zingine anafanya, labda ameanza kujenga mjengo mahali. And even then, that is when you can advise. Tumeona hapa mbele pako na plot, ukatujengea nyumba iko na room 5 na zote ziko na duka mbele, tutaweza hata kufanya kitu zaidi. So they might take up, the family might even be able to take up a bit of the burden of if their children being educated, to educate them with that income. But some of you, shame on us as women, shame on us. Shame on us. And I keep on saying sometimes when I give sentiments here, it is not only based on what I'm watching, but it is also based on family experiences. Why do you go and overburden somebody who is already living abroad and has their family? Even if it's their husband, that is a new family member. And I mean, they have responsibilities also abroad, and it's not cheap like here. But some of you, the expectations that you put on these girls who are abroad, it's so ashaming. It is so ashaming. It is very, very ashaming, and I do not need to go to details. Tunajijua. Me, I'm here. I, Josephine, have children that are in school. I'm not able to educate them. I'm not working. I'm not trying to work. But because I have this sister or because I have this cousin who is abroad, oh, please, nisaidie, unisomeshe mtoto yangu, fine. They do it. Where am I taking the school? The child to school, to the most expensive school. How hard is the child working for that most expensive school? Not very hard. Because you see, that feeling of entitlement follows down from the parents to the children. And it hurts me. It hurts me to the core. It hurts me to the core. The brazenness with which people will just ask for money. Huge amounts of money. And me, I'm here in Kenya. I'm not in abroad. I'm not in the diaspora. And so I know very well that if I'm listening to somebody telling me, I sent back home, oh, you send back home money for what? To educate so and so. Oh, how much are you, what is it costing you to educate them? No, you know, they told me their child is having a problem and this. And that's why I'm talking to us women. We're the ones who could figure out and be able to tell the person who is living abroad. Mimi mtoto, for me, the child, I'm going to take them in a regular school where we can be able to visit them. We are going to afford at least the uniform and this and this. You support us with the school fees. Even if it is everything that is being supported with, it is the onus is on you to make sure that this child is working hard. But no, some of you go the whole hog. Take the child to the most expensive school. Uniform is being bought for, books are being bought, visitation is upon the person who is abroad, making hair for the child when they are on holiday is upon the person who is abroad, buying a new box if they lost all the uniform. Shameless, and shame on us. Can we be the people that are being sung about, that we are helping our daughters, we are helping our sisters, we are helping our girlfriends to make investments back home? Can we be the different type of people who people are watching and they're saying, did you see what the daughter has done? When she wants to send me money to buy a tank, for example, a water tank of 10,000 liters, I call her and I say, my daughter, that water tank you wanted for 10,000 liters, what I thought is that let us buy a water tank of 5,000 liters, but from that same money, let us build a stand for that water tank. Let us do piping in the house so that it can be able to come in. Let us put enough gutters to be able to tap the rainwater to come into this water tank. Let us also put up a piping system, probably from a stream which is nearby, so that once in a while we can, whenever these young girls are and their husbands are offering to send money back home, make it work longer, make it do a bigger job. Do not instead say tukishanunua tanki na sasa pesa ya kuweka stand itatoka wapi, na sasa hata ikifika hapa sasa tutakuwa tukienda kuchota nje. Be the thoughtful one. If the girl says that I'm going to be able to send 400 pounds, I'm going to be able to send 400 euros, you be the one to make that 400 pounds, that 400 euros fit not into the one thing that she was thinking of, but encompass other things so that you can do 5 different things. How happy will it be for the girl and for the husband when they hear that the money they were sending home for this and this and this, you've decided instead to also do this and do this and do this and do this. When they see their money can go further, that is how now they are going to develop a culture of telling you how much more they can afford to invest back home here. And then you can look at bigger things that you can do for investment that will benefit, ultimately will benefit all of you here. Let's face it, even in Europe, life is hard and calamities now are hitting Europe. So we don't know about tomorrow. We don't know about tomorrow. The cushion of what they've invested here might be what is going to save them tomorrow. So how much better if the money that is being sent by them, we utilize it well, we advise them well accordingly, to such an extent that sometimes you have a surplus of money that is in the bank. Maybe they've put up a block of houses, maybe they've put up, you've been advising them about farming, bulk farming, renting shambas. Current shamba tunajua it's very common and it has very good income, whether you're growing tobacco, whether ni mahindi, whether ni kahawa. Yeah, give them that kind of investment so that sometimes they even want to come on holiday. The holiday can be extended to incorporate so much more. If they're educating any children here, they can incorporate so many more. If there's somebody who has a sickness and you've been spending money, they can have less of a burden, and the money that is here can be able to be utilized to be used for that. It is us, the women. It is us, the women, who can make this possible. And to a very big extent, I don't know how much this is happening. Once in a while we hear stories, we read stories in the papers, or we hear on radio or something. Oh, my family assisted me, I was in the diaspora, but they did this and they did this and they did it. But how many, out of so many, how many have you had who are doing good things like this? So few, so few. Let me tell you that in Machakos, I know of families that are related by extension, where girls have gone abroad, and they have left back sisters and mothers who are diligent about money. And but again, as Kambas, I'm not boasting that. As Kambas are very trustworthy people. We are very diligent people. We are not so greedy for money. Kambas of Machakos, I'm not talking about Kambas from other places, because I don't know, I just know about Kambas from Machakos. But generally, Kambas are very trustworthy people. And the development that has been done by the girls who have gone abroad, wow, good. And it is because also the sisters who are here, as a tribe, people have uplifted themselves to the level that girls take pride in developing their homes. They take pride in developing their homes, in making investments, in doing the extra, tutoe boma yetu pale ilikuwa. That is, let us remove our home from the level it was of poverty, of course, or of lack of money. It doesn't have to be extreme poverty. But many, more often than not, when you hear stories from different parts of the country, people are bemoaning, oh, we have relatives in the States, oh, we have relatives here, we have relatives. If you see the lavishness of the lives of the people that are milking these relatives, it's a pity. It's a pity. And I'm not talking to the men, that's why I'm addressing this to women, because we can be the change. We can be the change for every family. The women in the family can be the change. We can be those people who are saying, we do have somebody who's abroad, and we have been advising them. We've already put up this investment for them. We've enabled them to make this investment. We've enabled them to make this savings. We've enabled them to do this. So that, and that's why some of these people are relocating back. The success stories you're hearing of women who are relocating, not only women, of course, even couples, but people who are relocating after very many years of living in the diaspora. And they come happy, and because they had a relative who was trustworthy enough with their finances. Could you be that person? You the women, you the girls, you the sisters, you the mothers, you the aunties, the girlfriends. Let us advise these girls. And you girls, that's why I keep on saying, when you're out there, go out and mix a bit more. Go out and mix a bit more. I cannot believe that the trade relations that Kenya has with some of the countries you are in, you're just not involved in anything. But you're sitting at home and you have the money. You are capable of supporting some of the sisters who are here to be able to do some of the trade business that Kenya is doing with the countries where you're married. But you've not grown your brains to think that far, because your focus is so channeled, and it's not about the level of education. Forget about it. It's not. Let's not even talk about the level of education that you have. No. There is a limitation of jobs, of course, in Europe. There's racism and everything. I want us to sideline all of that. To you girls who are living in Europe, it hurts me to see you staying in the house, being housewives. No. You're educated. Hata kama kisomo ni kidogo, you have an opportunity. Utilize it much more than you're doing. Unless you're married to a millionaire, there is not enough money in the home. And especially if you do not have children, you sitting and just saying you're going to do YouTube and you're comfortable. No. You're wasting yourselves. No. Get out and do something extra. Involve yourself in more than editing videos. Talk to your friends. Go online. Go read about investments. Read about things to do. Go to school. Learn a craft. Learn something. Go to hairdressers. Learn how to make it. Just get out of the house more. It looks very comfortable. It looks very comfortable from the outside when people are watching. Oh, I wake up, then I cook, then I do this. But time is passing. And it's not just about making the money, but it's also creating stuff for you to do outside of looking after the family. Because you're going to get to 40. And you look back and life will have passed. Yes, you'll have the money. Yes, you'll have the family. Yes, you'll have your circle of friends will be different, but there's so much potential to what you could do. And I think more and more often, that is why many of you keep on complaining. Sometimes, once in a while, you get unwell. You just get mysteriously unwell. You're feeling lethargic. You have to go to the doctor. It's because your body is complaining. You're not doing much. You're seated. Looking after the house is not so difficult. We are African women. It's not a very hard chore. But you have brains that are working, that are still young. Those young brains can do so much. There are so many online jobs to do. There are still even education. You can even further your education. I give praise to those who go and continue their education. Many of you do not drive. Why? Why are you not driving? Why are you not driving if your husbands are driving? Yes, I know there's all the technicality or to get a driving license. Do the utmost best you can to get that driving license and get it very fast. Because again, when you're driving, there's so much more you can do. Get into communities where you can interact with people even women from other continents. Learn what it is that they are doing. I mean, there are so many other people where you are, if for example language is a barrier, who are willing to learn about your culture, who are willing to exchange about their culture. Even the people, the local people, I've said it, I said it in the last video, you do not interact enough with them. You do not interact enough with them. Have more sessions with them. Have more sessions with the people around you, and not people who are not of your age. What are you? How much are you going to share with them? So much limited things. But go into the magazines, go into the news boards, go into the markets, find out, even if it's in another city. But when I see girls continuously, they'll only go to school, come back and stay in the home, and then over the weekend do something with a man, and that's it. You're not doing a craft. You're not outside of, and even when you're studying, a lot of times it's just studying the language. But there are online courses in English for so many things that are sellable, that are resellable. Even the editing itself. Have you gone the extra mile? Yes, you're doing it with your husbands sometimes, I guess, and maybe some of them are savvy. But you yourself, you have to look at the difference between the lives of the girls, the girls who are married and then the girls who are single and they're in Europe. Oh, there's a difference. The girls who are single are go-getters. They are out there trying everything, not just for making money, but for socializing, but for having active lifestyles, doing this, and even back home, they're doing much more. Yeah, because they know at any time things could change. So they don't have any complacency. And this is what I'm praying for the girls who are married because most of your husbands are a bit older, and they're settled in their ways, they're settled financially, they're capable of looking after themselves and you into their old age. But you need to extend it a bit further. You need to cushion yourself, and you need to cushion your families. And more than anything else, you need to develop yourself to the next level. I'd like to see more of the young girls who are married going out to functions. You don't go for functions. Your lives are my sincerest apologies to your husbands, but your lives are a bit boring. They are. I know there are so many social, what can I call them? Social activities that go on in Europe, but your men don't want to take you to crowded places. You do two people affairs. You go to hotels, you go to sightseeing, you do what, but you need to be with your age mates. Sometimes you need to be with your age mates, and these men are not your age mates. Many of them are not your age mates, and so they're limiting you. Your freedom is very curtailed, by proxy, of course, because these are men who are working most of the time, and they also have your security in thought. But that's why I advise you to get together as girls. Get together. Sometimes just go traveling somewhere. Go touring as girls together, somewhere safe, somewhere nice. Or go out. And out does not always mean going dancing or something. Go somewhere where there are similar age peers who are having an activity within your country, even if it's the neighboring country. Talk to other people, other YouTubers, because currently, on social media is where you're really going to find like-minded people. Yes, because traveling in Europe, depending on the countries you are in, is not so difficult. You can always invite one another over to different places, even if it's just for the day. I was very happy when I saw the other day Dim Wango called up the Nigerian girl, what's her name, Fo, and her husband, and they met up. That's something different, because then there are things that the girls can discuss together. In this case, they were just Africans together, but not necessarily from the same country. And there are things that the men can discuss together. And there's always something that one person will be able to give and another person will be able to receive. But you Kenyan girls, no. Do you ever go to the embassy to find out, is there something I can do? What is being brought in from our country that I can import? Have you ever gone to the embassy to find out that? Go and find out. What about us, the relatives who are here? Have we bothered to find out? Oh, Susan keeps on saying she's feeling so bored, she doesn't have much to do. How can I, have I gone to the export, to the Kenya Exporters Association, for example? Have I reached out to them on the internet and found out, oh, since she's in Slovakia, I go and I find out from the Slovakian embassy or from the Kenya Exporters Association. I ask them, I have a relative in Slovakia. What is it that we can do? What is it that I can export there? From here, she's able to enable with her husband. And you're told Huh? Or you go and say, yeah, I have my sister who is in Germany, or I have my daughter who is in Germany. I'd like to send her things, or we'd like to start a business. As Kenya Exporters Association, can I join, or how can I benefit? As Kenya Tourist Association, have you gone to them? You find out, I have a relative in that place and I don't have work here. How can we be assisted? She's there and I'm here. You know, and that's why I'm saying some of the organizations in Kenya, they have so much. They need people here and those in the diaspora being in touch and working through them to help so much. You might find it's very easy to export maybe coffee, just packaged very simply, to one of the countries where your daughter is, where your cousin is, where your sister is. Some of you who are claiming you don't have jobs here, the jobs are there through these people who are abroad, but you're so busy milking them, taking advantage of them, that you don't even see the opportunities. And it is a bad show to our in-laws, because those are our in-laws. You cannot always just keep on saying, nipe, 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 give me, give me, give me, and you're giving nothing in turn. You are never too poor that you cannot give. So can we start giving? My fellow mothers, can we start giving in whatever little measure? Sometimes giving is not asking. Sometimes giving is being self-reliant so that your child knows, oh gosh, I feel so happy. Because they'll send, so that when they send, they know it's going to go some way. But when they don't send, they know that at least my parent, my auntie, she tries. Huh? But not that I get to a point where, because my child is abroad, I'm telling her, this 10,000 you're selling me per month is not enough. At least if you could make it 40,000, 30,000. How? You're putting pressure on them. I know these children, their lives are very difficult, and especially if they have families abroad. You, the sisters, why are there Kenyans? And I said I'm not talking about men in this situation. I'm just talking about the women only. Ask the mothers, the aunties, the sisters, the cousins, nieces, and all that. Why is it that there are some of us who are 100% reliant on being assisted by those who are in the diaspora? Really, really shameless. And I'm saying this without any fear of bias or fear of unfairness. Majority of the people, let me talk to you, the girls, because today I'm addressing the girls who are in Miru and the families who are here. You're just spoiling the relatives who are here. Yeah, with money. They're the ones who are known to be flashy in dressing. They live lavish lifestyles. They wasteful. Let me not forget to put the part wasteful. Wasteful. They are so wasteful because they're getting it for free. And if you have a relative who is never advising you that ile pesa ulimtumia No. If you've been sending money to somebody and there's no day that they're going to come up and tell you, oh, my sister, or my daughter, or my niece, the money that you sent me, I did this and this and this, and it has, and because you've been sending me for a long period, please next month don't send me anything. Or now I'm proud to tell you that I'm earning for myself. Or now I'm proud to tell you that I'm now able to educate my son by myself. Unless you're sending just a bit for their Christmas or for their holiday, I'm fine. I'm sufficient. How nice would it be? But some of you are like holes, deep-ended holes that have no end. You know, you feed it, it never ends. You are being sent money last year, you are being sent money this year, you'll be sent money the next year. And there's no change in life. You eat well, you live large, and you're happy with that. And you never try to make that 1 shilling turn to 2 shillings or 1 shilling and 50 cents. No, it is not good. It is not good, and it is not good. And I'll be very happy to hear different stories coming from people, because I know, well, even when you hear some of these girls talking, it surprises me. I never hear them talking about, yes, I hear them saying, yeah, I've built for my family, and I've done this for my family, and I've done this. I've never had any one of them say, oh, I'm so happy, you know, because I helped this one to do this, now they're able to do this. I think only in one case, one young woman talked about how she educated her siblings and they're now managing on their own. But for the rest, and that is one case, and maybe they're not a very big representation of everybody who is outside, who is living in Europe and married in Europe. But again, I said I'm talking about young women who've been married less than 5 years, the majority of whom do not have children. What is it that you're doing to assist them? Can they tell me? Can they tell a different story? Am I being overly harsh? Because this forum is open, right? And say, do you have relatives who are so good that you've been sending them money and they've told you, Apana, you've been sending us money, we already opened a shop, you've been sending us money, we already bought a little shamba, you don't have to start sending so much, to continue so much, sending so much, you've been sending us money, we already put up a little investment, we are going to continue educating our child. Are you getting those stories, young girls, with your husbands? Are you getting those stories, mothers out there with daughters in the diaspora? Do you have those stories to tell? Can you say, oh, my daughter was sending me, used to support me 100%, but now she has enabled me. I'm in Chamas, I have invested in this, I have my little chickens which are here, I have my this. Can you proudly say that? My sister, my dear sister, can you say that you are proud you have your child who's abroad, but now she has enabled you so much that when she sends money, you're even putting investment for her? Huh? My sister, can you say that about your niece? Can you say your niece said you helped you to educate your own children? And now you've told her your children, because nani aliwasomesha ama alituwezesha, sasa tumepata hii, now let us invest, so that you can start telling them good stories, so that the next time she visits in the country, mnamwambia, hey, you helped us so much, come and stay in our house 3 days with your husband, or you and your husband, us, we are going to cater. When you come home, we are the ones who are going to buy food for the family for Christmas. We are going to give you some gifts when you come home. We'd like to, you know, when they come home, maybe you get them some gifts. Mnawanunulia vikoi, mnawanunulia vitenge, mnawanunulia hizi bracelets, like gifts as a family. Mnawaambia nyinyi, we know you have enough for yourselves, but in appreciation of the things you've done for us, as you're going back to your country, since you came for Christmas, since you came for Easter, since you came for what, this is what we have gotten for you. Here is this calabash, here is this hotel, here is this vitenges we've bought for you. We know you are about to have a... When do we ever surprise our relatives? When women, can we just get back to the culture that we know? That people who do us things, the same thing we do with our mheshimiwas. When they come to visit somewhere, we give them the best tea, we give them zawadi, we sing for them. Can we start singing for our daughters? Can we start singing for our sisters? These ones who are married abroad, when they come, they find that we have prepared for them like this. Yes, we know they have the money, they are going to bring us gifts and everything. Let us in equal share have gifts waiting for them. Food in baskets. Let us in equal share. Akitoka hapa, today they've been hosted in this home. We are the ones who are paying food. We are the ones who are buying all the food. Tomorrow they are going to that home, they find everything is prepared for them. Then they are just, not all the time, they come here a full month. Huh? You've been educating people, you've built for people homes, you've been buying for people clothes, you've been doing, you come here a whole month. Nobody invites you to eat in their house. If you go there, in fact, you're the one who is carrying, because you are carrying gifts. You're the one who is even being told, ata hatuna sukari, ata hatujalipa rent, we've not even paid rent. Oh, Nani also dropped out of school. No. Let us change the narrative. Kenyans, let us do it. If you've been supported for more than 6 months, 6 months is enough for you to have now taken yourself to the next level. Let these in-laws of ours, whom we want so much to uplift our families and who do such a great job, I must congratulate them. They're already looking after our daughters well. Let us support them to the next level. Let them be hearing, but I'm hearing, your mother is sick, your father has this sickness, your brother had this accident. And their wives are saying, no. You remember when we started paying for them insurance last year, but what? They took over, I called them, I've been talking to them, the insurance is catering for all the payments. And among themselves, because each of them, this one started this one started this, they've been managing the bill. When they hear there's a funeral, it's their wives coming and saying, no, my husband, they said that we only sent $100. That is going to be enough. Oh, but I remember the other years we used to send this. No. They told me that because we showed them about the funeral covers, they took, even the neighbors took, even the other family who were helping, they took cover, and they said that everything is settled. Maybe what we are going to send is just to cater for a few extras. We don't need to send as much as before. Then everybody develops to the next level of wealth preservation and wealth creation. And you teach the younger children, and you teach the poorer neighbors, and you teach those who do not know to that level. And we develop, everybody develops, and everybody is happy. So let us utilize these connections, because it is a connection. When our daughters are married to these people, or when they are living in the diaspora, let us help them to develop. Let us not instead crush what they have built. Let us not instead be the ones to waste what little it is they are struggling so much to give us. Let us not be the ones to make them be working so extra hard, trying so extra hard to fight to make a living, and then it doesn't go as far as they would like to go because they have such a big burden behind. No. I know they don't talk about this. They are happy, they look happy and what, but I know if you sat down with them on a one-on-one and they start telling me the stories, because I hear the stories which I hear, because I know what happens here, because I see the level of manipulation that happens here. It's so horrible, so ugly. I'm hoping that our girls out in Europe, marriage, are going to get themselves a bit busier, are going to diversify the stuff that they do, are going to venture more and look for what other talents, what other capabilities they have or they can learn, and then do much more than just housekeeping. For me, the housekeeping thing it just doesn't sit well with me. It doesn't. No matter how wealthy your men are, it doesn't. Get yourself busy. Get yourself useful. Get yourself moving. Find out what your age mates in those countries you are in, what are they doing? Are they also housewives? Of course not. I do not think so. Yeah, find out what they are doing. Try and do some of that. And again, you have better opportunities. You come from poorer countries. You come from a poorer country. Kenya being a poorer country than most of the European nations. There's so much you can do. There's so much you can do from back here to help your family to grow and also to keep you busy, so that all you're doing is not just content creation. I really am advising against that. And you family members here, you mothers, you aunties, you sisters, think of ways of stuff that these our daughters, these are our sisters, they can look for things that they can do. Unajua sisi hapa ni chama ni kwenda kwa shamba, ni kwenda kufanya nini. Wao wako huko na wako na kompyuta na wako na simu. They can make things happen. Wanaweza kuvukisha, they can transfer goods, they can import, they can export, they can move. There's many things they can do. They can bring things here, you can send things there, but they are the enablers. They're able to do it. Come up with ideas. Go, you are the ones. We are the ones who are here. Go to these organizations, Kenyan organizations, like I've said. Go to the tour companies. Find out what is it that they can help. Go to especially the national ones, the Kenya Export Authority, the Kenya Tourist Board, the Kenya Exporters Society organization or whatever. Find out what is it that we are doing with that country where my daughter is, where my sister is. How can I benefit? What is it that I can do to make me earn money? Because they can enable, but you are here. You are the strategicness of your being here and them being there, and them having time. They have time, and those of you who are not working here, you have time. If you put together those two factors, and the fact that they can enable financially, let that enabling financially be able to grow people to the next level and not just be used for wastage. Because there are many who will come at me, but there's a lot of misspending of money, there's a lot of wastage of money, there's a lot of entitlement that is going around, and there's a lot of abuse of generosity by these girls that should stop and change. And women, we are the change makers, and women, we hold the economy to a very big extent. We determine how the economy goes in certain matters, and if we can tap into this, it's a resource. It's a very unique resource. If we can tap in this, we are able to go a bit further and to go very far and to develop our homes very far and to help our girls even in their relationships grow in a different way, because when their minds are busy with other things, there's less opportunity for friction, because friction of course sometimes happens, but you don't want it to reach a level where it's being caused by money or the lack of it. Yes, so thank you very much for watching today. It was just about to talk. It's something that I've been watching. It doesn't happen with the older women. They've handled it differently. It doesn't happen so much in America. It doesn't happen so much in Asia, because I've watched those other places, and it's just mostly happening in Europe. And that's why I wanted to talk about it, because the opportunity, the chances, there's something that is driving it to be happening only in Europe, and without being disrespectful to the men, it must be a societal thing that the men talk about, and it's a fashion and it's a system, so that they all know together that when we marry girls from Africa, this is the better way to keep them, this is the better way to train them to be. And it might be with good intentions, but we know the potential of our girls, and we, the ones who are watching from this end, we are not satisfied. So what I've spoken, how does it fit? What do you feel, you as the husbands, as the men? Is it so out of the way? Is it putting the girls in danger? Is it going to bring so many implications? Because at every point you are there to help, and you also stand to benefit. So you'll be the best to guide. So if there's something I'm saying, maybe I'm not so totally informed, though to a very large extent I am very well informed, then you can let me know. But for those of you who are watching here from Kenya, let me tell you that to the best of my knowledge, and from the little of world affairs I know, and from the little reading that I've done here and there, and from the little exposure I have here and there, I've not given a wrong advice. I'm not giving a wrong advice, and I'm not suggesting anything that is not doable, and I'm not suggesting anything that is going to make you go backwards instead of going forward. No. And I'm not suggesting anything that is going to jeopardize the relationship of these girls with you or with their husbands. it is all for the good of everybody. I also have a daughter who's abroad. They're not married to a European, but I know how their life is. I know how some of these things are affected. I also have friends who are in Europe who are married, but you see, we are at an older age. Things were not like that. Before, things were not like that. Right now they are. And now we're talking about the 20 to 30-year-olds, and I just prefer for it to change. Again, my views and opinions are subject to correction, and they are not given with any bias. They are not given with any ill intention. It is for educative purposes. It is for entertainment. Not more for educative than entertainment purposes, but it's given with a clear heart, with a good heart, with good intention. And so I'll close this video here. I thank you for staying, for watching. It's a long talk, and I'm wishing you all the best. And I'm asking you again, my sisters, the mothers, the aunties, the sisters, the cousins, the girlfriends, do not be that person who's always asking. He's always begging and not giving. Do not be that person who is so entitled because you know that you have this person who is abroad, who is sending the money. Please do not. We see it and we know it, and it is bad. It is very bad. You know, you're not as helpless as you say. The entitlement should stop. And also I must say thank you so much for those of you, a very big thank you for those of you who have been at the forefront of helping these young women to make investment, to make good choices, to better themselves, to enable themselves further, who are encouraging them, and of course to our in-laws now, the men who are married to them. Thank you very much. You do great to keep them happy, to keep them contented, to continuously develop them as individuals, being older by virtue of being older, and also being good husbands. We thank you very much, and because of you're also enabling our families, you're enabling our clans, you're enabling our villages, and by proxy you're enabling the country to develop. We appreciate you. To all my viewers, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I can see the numbers are rising. There's still a play I've seen in from the analytics about the viewership, and I don't know why that is, and I'm not going to stress about it, but the numbers are rising for even the hours of viewing. I don't know how that happens, that sometimes the viewing hours are high and sometimes they go low. And again, I think it's because of the music that I had incorporated in older videos. So one by one, I'm starting to pick out music that had copyrighted music, and I was not aware of it. I have to do everything to sustain the channel and to sustain it well and to stay within regulations of YouTube. So I'm going to be just putting the videos into private. I'll not be deleting them, because deleting them is also deleting the viewership. And then I'll be bringing them back. I'll leave the old ones in private mode, and then I'll bring back the videos that have corrections, anew again with new titles and new music that is copyright free. Yes, it's just taking measure to protect the channel. I'm also I've started currently doing a video a day, and making sure that there's positive content, and there's also content that has content that is not shallow. You know, sometimes people put out content daily, but it's just doing a lot of nothing. I want to make sure that it makes a lot of sense, that it's something that is worth watching, that's something that is worth sitting down for, that I'm not taking advantage of the fact that I just want numbers to grow very fast. No. That I'm giving you a body, that I'm giving you content that has meaning. So I appreciate your support. Keep on watching from wherever you are. I'm wishing you a good night, or I'm wishing you a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Stay on the channel and we'll see you again. You're welcome to watch the next vlog. Please make sure to subscribe and also put yourself open to receive notifications of upcoming videos, and watch other, because I have streams of different videos of me, Josephine out and about, Josephine new developments, Josephine traveling on tour, So make sure to watch the other videos to better understand me, to better know who I am, to better know my Ruai, which I like to advertise so much. It's a nice place. And I hope that your viewing of this will give you enjoyment. God bless you and guide you and protect you. Bye.